Here's the new Murray. I'm really not happy with it. You've seen the last video I made on the river, and the old Murray just completely kicked ass compared to this. One being the motor bogged a lot and didn't go very fast. It's got a 4.5 in the back, and the original mowing deck pulley flipped. But today we're going to be tearing it down, and I'm going to pull the rear end off it again, sadly, because I just put that on there and just bought a pulley for it. And I'm going to take that pulley off and I'm going to buy another one. This is going to be a really costly affair, at least $100+ to get this back into something that I'm going to be happy with. Other than that, the tractor works great. Like the look of it. At some point I will show you the overall modifications that have been done. Alright, gotta grab myself a 10mm here and pull my brake linkage off here. So just while I'm under here, you can see how I hooked up my brakes. I got a bracket here, and this here cable is about lined up with the hole in this brake iron right there. Now what I got is one of these ends for a bicycle that would actually crimp the cable on your brakes, on the brake side of your brake setup on a bike. And what you do is you put the cable through that hole, and then you push it in there and tighten the nut up, and it'll crimp it right in there. No problem. Alright, so while I had it apart, I just greased this line, and for those of you that are running gas pedals and stuff with those bike cables, you might want to coat the actual wire part that's on the inside, like that right there. Coat it with grease or something, and then slide it back down through the plastic conduit. And if you do that, you will get a lot easier pushing pedal. This pedal, before I greased it, it would stick. It would move okay if you did it fast, but if you did it slow, it would like catch and go down. But this one here, it's just nice, and you can go slow, nice and silky. So grease them, and it should help. So now what I'm going to do is pull the rear end off, and I can do that fairly easily. Here's the rear end. What I gotta do is pull this pulley off. I'm gonna put a 5" on there, 6.5 on the front. Right now it's got about a 5" on the front. So basically it'll go a little faster than it did, and a bigger pulley on the back means that there's more surface area for the belt to grab onto. So when you get in the water, that does make a difference. This one here, it seemed to just slip. Awful. Alright, I got the pulley in between two pieces of wood there, sitting on the stock Murray tires, and the transmission's suspended in the air a little bit. So now I'm going to see if I can just tap this sucker out. Just like that. Okay, so if you guys have these Murrays, you know that on the bottom of their long steering shaft that goes down and it goes between the belt, which is always a pain, you got one of these little gears on the bottom, and they're held on with one of these suckers, which is an O-ring, or I don't even know what you'd really call it. Anyway, those are a pain in the butt to remove. So what I'm going to do is pull the steering shaft out and weld a bolt onto the bottom of it. So I'm going to put this on there, something like that, weld it around just a little bit, cover up these so that I don't get that full of slag, and then I'll be able to bolt it right up to the bottom, make it a lot easier. It is what it is. I think it'll work just fine. So basically what I'll do is I'll take that, put some washers like that, put the nut on top, and I should be able to tighten it down. This is the double pulley clutch that I actually built when I had the tractor stripped right down to the frame, and I'm doing some modifications to it because I wasn't getting good belt tension, so that's why I'm putting a bigger rear pulley and also a bigger front pulley. But I thought I'd better investigate, and as it turns out, I think the problem was that I had these pulleys too close, because I had the other one like right there, and I don't think it was given enough leverage or something. So what I've done is I welded on this piece of steel there to another piece that is in line with the pulley. That top piece there is just for reinforcement. That's where the old hole was, so you can see the difference now. But this hole is actually going to be for a spring. I didn't drill that, it was already there, so I'm going to drill another hole right around there somewhere, and that is going to be where the pulley drops in. So here's the clutch. Pretty happy with it. Just added this here belt retainer, and so far the system seems quite flawless. Had to align the pulleys. That could be a problem for my belt not quite working properly, but we'll find out how it goes once I get the new pulleys and new belt. What's up, everybody? This is a couple days later, and picked up this new pulley. It is a die cast, but it's not the crappy aluminum ones, so it's quite heavy. I'm hoping it'll be fine. I have run these before in the old Murray over there for a couple of years and never had a problem with it, so hopefully I can do the same here. I did have a steel pulley on there, as you've seen when I took it off, but we're up into a 5-inch, and I can also show you the front pulley right here. Here is a 6.5-inch, and this here's the 5-inch, and here's the original front pulley. Now, upon first inspection, these look fairly similar in size, but if you look closely at the interior diameter, look, it's way out here, and look at it. You can see the difference. If I actually do some measurements here, this guy measures up to be 3.5, and this one is 5. We're going to have a noticeable speed difference, and I'm even putting a bigger rear pulley, and I think it's still going to go a lot faster than it did. Pulley's on after I managed to have a little explosion here. Just put the rear end back in. Quite a long episode, but it's in there now. Looks pretty good. Right now, I think I'm going to put the engine back in, or the new engine right here. This is 13.5 IC Gold. It's going to be governor-less, and first engine I've ever run without a governor, but I think I can handle it. Just got this motor bolted back in, the new one, and I'm going to check and see if there's spark. Now I know there's a number of ways to do this, but I'm going to do it this way because I'm not sure if this coil is any good. Yes sir, we got spark. Just reinstalled the exhaust. Straight pipe out the back. You can see it looks a little better. And that's because I painted it with this here heat Rust-Oleum, which I didn't even know you could get Rust-Oleum in Canada, where I am anyway. But it's for barbecues, wood stoves, and more. So I think this stuff's pretty good. I definitely like the color of it. It's almost like a foggy, flat, grayish black color. Like it doesn't even look like the cap. Alright, so here is a DIY catch can for your off-road or racing lawnmower. Now what this is just a, a stainless steel water bottle. And all I did was turned it upside down like that. I think there's still oil in it because it actually worked. It was on the old Murray and it worked excellent because I opened it up and there's oil in it and it didn't go in my intake. So the modification does work if you can't afford the real deal. But this is just fine. So what I did is I drilled two holes, an inlet and an outlet. Now the outlet can go back to your air cleaner if you want, or you can just reroute it down out of the way. And your inlet comes directly out of your PCV. Now I will show you more once I get this mounted. All I did was bent a washer actually, and I drilled a little hole in there, and I put a self-tapping bolt down through it. And that'll sit on the side of my engine, and once I get it going here, I'll show you. Here our catch can is mounted. All I did was put that self-tapping bolt in there, and really it is pretty strong. I thought it wouldn't be enough, but I think I'm happy with it. It doesn't get much abuse anyway. It's just sitting there. And you can see the line runs over into my PCV. Now how I hooked this up is I took the original PCV, which this engine actually had one of these, the shorter ones, but there's longer versions on bigger engines. And all I did is I cut the end off of it, this here end like this, and shove that hose inside of there and put a hose clamp on it. Now this here hose is actually oil resistant. I didn't know if it was when I bought it. I bought it from Home Hardware. So just go to your local building supply store and you should be able to pick up something. You can ask them if it's oil resistant because that's what you want. But you never know. They didn't know for my particular case. So I just bought it and ended up being fine. You can see there's bent oil in it and it's still nice and firm. So that works good. Now the next thing is the outlet side. Now since this one's not going to have a normal air breather on it like a normal engine like that, I'm actually going to be running that hose, I think just discard under the footrest there, or maybe out this side, I'm not 100% sure yet. So here's the line here. This was already made up. Now what I'm going to do is put that in there and run that wherever I'm going to run it to. I'm going to address another question you might have, and that's how I hold these inside of the water bottle. So all I did was I drilled a hole the corresponding size to, if you look at one of these, there's a little lip on the outside. I drilled it according to that inner size there so that it actually fit in the same way as it does into here. So if you push it down in there and get the lip under, it'll stay right there and swivel. And so pretty straightforward. Alright, after some minor problems here, I've hooked up one of these Tether kill switches. And this here is the way that Christopher Smith did it, which is dog sprocket. I don't know if he made up this way or if it's something he came across, but what it is just a toggle switch like this one here, and I'll show you that it works here. Now if you look at it, it's down, and down makes the engines quit. Now if I get down here and show you exactly how I made it, all it is a toggle switch, and what I did is I took this here paint. It's a handle off a paint can, and I bent it around the shaft of this, and I had to make it on a bit of an angle, not straight down to the switch. I had to make kind of a loop where it's bigger in here for the washer to sit, and then it comes down to a point. And as you can see, that completely crosses that off so that it won't slide out. It'll pull it off if you did fall off. And So that's touching, that's right tight, and then I just put a washer and put the nut on it. Pretty straightforward. And all I did for this is I took a chain, put one of these rings you use on your keychain, and I got them both on there. This here is just to make it look a little better. Now what you do is you gotta shut it off in the off position, put this on there, and you gotta put them both in. I found if you put both rings, as you can see like that, and you push it up like that, now when you fall off, it is gonna shut the engine off, just like that. Now for the other end of the chain, I only used one of those little belt clips, and that'll clip onto your jeans or whatever you're wearing. So now if you want to know how I wired it up, it's pretty straightforward. I just have one terminal going to ground right there, and the other side is running down to this kill wire right here. And on the older engines it comes out over here.